pianist Wayman Chin has joined me in the Quincy Access Television studios. We have a lot of music to talk about. Wayman, congratulations on on your achievements, because we're going to get into that. You're actually a pianist, a concert pianist. You have been for many years. You're an instructor. You're a jurist. You've done some writing for opera, as far as, I believe, reviews. So multi-talented. It's so great to have you here at Quincy Access Television.
It's my pleasure to be here, Mark. Thank you for having me.
As we get into your art and your performance, again, chamber music, that's your specialty.
Yes, well, I guess my flippant answer could be I had to do all of those things in order to make a living. And the fact is, the world of music is full of many dimensions. And as you were relaying some of the things I've done, it's kind of staggering, because I have done a lot of things in the profession, but I would say primarily my activities have been as a teacher and as a chamber musician. I love the art of collaborating with people and making music with others. So that's really been one of my great passions as a performer.
You have played all over. You've played in the US, you've played in Asia, you've played in the United Kingdom.
Yes, again, I wouldn't say that I ever planned out my career. Many things have come about due to the fact that I have friends who said, oh, I'm starting a festival in the United Kingdom, in England. We know you're an Anglophile. Would you like to join us? Asia has been really a great place to visit, because I have family who are there, and through that I've done quite a number of master classes and concerts in the Philippines, also have performed and taught in Hong Kong and throughout China. So in the last few years, in my capacity as the Dean of the Longview School of Music, and I was in that position for 12 years, I got to travel to do recruiting for the school. So that was really a great joy.
You mentioned collaborations. Who have you collaborated with through the years?
Yes, a number of noted string quartets, such as the Cassatt String Quartet, the Pacifica Quartet, a wonderful violist who's become a very good friend of mine, Masumi Pierrot-Stad, who is now in the artist faculty of the Eastman School of Music. I have colleagues at Longview in the Horzhowski Trio. It's a piano trio, and I have collaborated individually with each of those stellar musicians, who are probably among the finest musicians in our country. And I've done a lot of work with singers. I just love the idea that when you're working with a singer, they have text, they have a story, there's a narrative, and it's incredibly intimate. It's the pianist, the singer, the poet, and the composer, and it gets right to the heart of what it means to be human and alive and very intimate and very close.
You have actually premiered music as well.
Yes, and actually on this program, which we'll get to in a few minutes, are a couple of works by composers whose work I have premiered. Scott Wheeler is a professor at Emerson, and I'm doing a portrait that he composed back in 2012 of a mutual colleague of ours, the great soprano who's teaching at Brandeis, Nancy Armstrong's little arietta that Scott wrote. I'm also doing an opening piece by Aaron J. Kernis, who was a classmate of mine at the Yale School of Music well over 40 years ago. And he's won the Guggenheim Fellowship, the Pulitzer Prize, and actually he composed an elegy, full title of which is Elegy for Those We Lost, in May 2020, which was his tribute to COVID victims and their families. The beginning, to me, sounds like the beginning of the Elgar Enigma Variations Nimrod variation, and it's a hymn, it's healing, it's deeply spiritual. So I've done a lot of Boston premieres of Aaron's music, and over the years, a number of composers who are colleagues of mine at the Longy School. Another wonderful composer whose work I've premiered is Marty Epstein, who's a professor at Berklee College of Music.
Let's talk about the performance. You will be performing at the Thomas Crane Public Library as part of their Concerts at the Crane series. That will be on Sunday, April 21st from 3 to 4 p.m. in the Richardson building of the main library, which is absolutely a joy, I know, for a lot of musicians to play in, because the wood in that room just makes a difference.
So I confess I have never visited the library. And
you're in for a treat then.
I know. I've already gone on the website, and of course I just think of one of the marvels of American architecture, which is the Trinity Church, Henry Hobson Richardson. And when I was in graduate school, I took a great course taught by Vincent Scully in modern architecture. So he talked about Richardson all the time. So I can't wait, because that kind of ambiance and the wood and the surroundings will be very conducive for, I think, the kind of experience I like to create and share with an audience.
As we close, I guess I'd like, since you've been a teacher and you continue to teach.
Yes, I did. I am now Dean Emeritus, which I balked at because I thought, oh, Emeritus, I don't feel old, but I guess I am.
I can see why you might say that again, the title being the title.
Yes,
right?
I stepped down as the Dean of the Conservatory at the Longy School of Music at Bard College in June 2020, and I've returned to the faculty, and I absolutely love it. Teaching is my first love.
So to someone out there, or to many folks out there that are thinking of starting that path, what would you say to them?
Do it. I would say that there are any number of reasons people on the outside will say, don't do it, it's a tough life, you will have to cobble together a living. But the students that I've encountered, and the students who are now really part of the cultural scene in Boston, who may have only graduated 3, 4, 5 years ago from Longy, never had to think twice about it. You know, they are propelled, I hope, as I was, by the daily inspiration and the daily unpredictability of what it is to be a musician. No day is the same. And I feel that same way in my work as a teacher. So I would say absolutely, because if that power is being generated, that will keep a musician going.
Accompanying this interview, we do have a piece that you will be performing or had performed. So we will go to that now. I want to thank you for joining me and wish you the best.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.